this wonderful and deep wisdom, and particularly in light of what the Rav said, that the concealed have now become as the revealed. Item 42, Notzer Chesed. Many fools escape or flee from the study of the secrets of the Ari and the Book of Zohar, which are our lives. If my people heeded me in this time of the Messiah, when evil and heresy increase, they would delve in the study of the Zohar and the Tikkunim and the writings of the Ari all their days, and they would revoke all the harsh sentences and would extend abundance and light. Friends, we remind you to shut off all cell phones. Anyone who wants to ask a question, please stand up, hold the microphone, close your mouth, speak clearly. And we'll be reading from the book of Zohar, Mishpatim, portion of Mishpatim, 164. Again, book of Zohar, Mishpatim, ordinances. We'll be starting with item 164.
השיעור מבוסס על סדרת ספרי זוהר לעם. ניתן
Lesson is based on Zohar to the public. You can download the book at Kabbalah.tv. Hello, we'll be reading from Zohar to the public, page 367, in Mishpatim Ordinances, item 164. You can download the book at kab.tv, you can watch there, and you can ask questions there.
The book of Zohar, as we've now heard from the writings just before the lesson, is capable of anything. It's capable of bringing us out of wherever we may be. But let's just give it credit. Be confident and secure. Give our whole hearts for it to affect us and for it to do what it can, which means to bring the reforming light. And then we will transcend our current place where we are in our narrow perception of reality, our distance from the Creator, and feel that the good inclination enters our hearts, the will to bestow, to feel how bound we are to the upper force, how it governs us, brings us closer, pushes us away, does everything, performs all the actions, and leads the world, fills it all. We want to feel it, because in that way we will be able to actualize everything that He wants, and it will all be revealed in us. So let us be together and hold ourselves together as much as we can, because to that extent the Zohar affects us. And really examine the extent to which we, according to our closeness, are coming closer to the Zohar and to the Creator.
Item 164. Rather, he is another, of which we said, and he is another, and he is last. Since now the stone is rolling in the hollow of the sling in relation to the first body that died, it is called the incarnated in the hollow of the sling, who returned once more to the world with the name another and last, and because he has no mate, he took the divorced one. This is why the text calls him another, last. Why is he called another in relation to the first body that died? After all, the whole construction, the first body, fell into the dust once more, and it is as though it never was. And the incarnated one was what he was in the first body, and not another. So why is he called another? Also, why is he called last? Is he the last? If he straightens his ways and becomes corrected, very well, and he will be the last and no longer incarnate. But if he does not, he will reincarnate and will be planted as before, so why is he called last? 165. It is written, and God saw all that he has done, and behold, it was very good. Good is the good angel, very is the angel of death. The Creator provides his corrections to all until even the angel of death returns to being very good. 166. And a river comes out of Eden to water the garden, is Ranpin, that waters the Malchut. This river never rests from multiplying and from bearing fruits. Another God is sterile, and has no desire for the world or to multiply or bear fruit. For if it bore fruits, it would make the whole world murky. 167. For this reason, the man who caused the evil side to multiply in the world never sees the face of divinity. That man who incarnates in incarnation, if he moved and clung to another God, which does not bear fruit and does not multiply in the world, for this reason he is called another. And the name of the Sitra Achra causes him, for even though he died, he incarnates is called another, like the Sitra Achra, other side. 168. He is called last, because from the first one onward he is called last. He is second, and in the Torah he is immediately called last. The Creator too calls him last, so he would be corrected in this incarnation, becoming the last one, and he will not incarnate again. The third one is also called last, and so it is each time he incarnates. From the first one on, he is called last. So he should be called last, for if he were to be immediately called second, it allows for him to return once more and reincarnate as before, so that the current building would be ruined. 169. This comes to us from the second temple, who is called last. It is written, the glory of this last house will be greater than the first, because from the first onward it is called last. so as not to give excuse for that building to fall and be rebuilt as before. 170. Similarly, this one who reincarnates is called last, like the second temple. This is why it is written, her former husband, who sent her away, will not be able to take her again. Why does it say, will not be able? Should it not have written, will not take her? It is because the woman clung to another and descended to be enslaved in a low degree of the Sitra Achra. Hence the Creator does not want him, the first, to descend from his degree, bearing fruits, and clinging to a degree that is not his own. 171. If that woman does not marry, even if she fornicates with all the people in the world, if her husband wishes, he can return to her. But if she clung to another by marriage, she will not be able to return to the previous degree that she had had before. This is why it is written, will not be able. Indeed, he will never be able to return to that degree. 172. It is written, after she had been defiled. We learned that she had been defiled in his heart. Thus can it be that even if she drifts away and fornicates without marriage, she will be forbidden? However, since she clung to another, she took upon herself that evil side, and her first husband, who is from the other good side, the good will never have a part in her, and will never multiply that place. Thus, if the last man had sent her, or if the last man had died, she is forbidden to the first. However, she is permitted to the rest of the people. Perhaps she will find a place as before, and the last one to mate with her will rise. 173. He who has sons from the first wife, and lets this woman into his house, on that day he clings to the harsh sword that turns every way. It is so for two reasons. One, she has already repelled two men outside, and now he is the third. Two, the Kli that partook in her is another. How will he come to place his spirit in it, partaking with her and clinging to her? It is not that she is forbidden, but it is certainly bad partnership for him. 174. Rabbi Levitas would laugh and mock that woman when he saw who is mating with her. He would say, it is written, she laughs at the last day, meaning he who clings to the last man is laughter for later. 175. Now we should reconsider one, great and high place, that was in the world, and a stem, and a root of truth. It is Oved, the father of Ishai, and the father of David. It was said that the incarnated one is the last, and Oved was an incarnation of Machlon, the dead without sons. So how did a root of truth come out from this place? 176. However, Oved was corrected in the high correction, and the root of the tree that was overturned, with his wife becoming his mother. Thus he was restored and rose in it, and was properly corrected. This is why he is called Oved, from the word avdut, slavery, but the rest of the people in the world were not rewarded. 177. Oved came, worked, and hoed the core and the root of the tree, and came out of the bitter face, and restored the foliage, Malchut. Ishai, his son, came and strengthened him, corrected him, and clung to the trees of another, a high tree, Zeranpin, connecting a tree to a tree, and they became entangled in one another. When David came, he found the trees, Zeranpin and Malchut, entangled in one another, and inherited the governance of the land. Indeed, Oved caused it. 179. This Oved was corrected, and it came out of the evil field of evil pits. Yishai, his son, came and set up, and hoed the tree. For this reason, Oved set up the tree. When King David came, he remained in the lower tree of the female, Malchut, and had to receive life from another. For he had no life of his own. And if he, the one who was corrected and established everything, was so, then the rest of the people who incarnate are several times more incapable of being corrected. 180. He turns to the incarnation on all sides. Peretz was an incarnation of Er. Boaz was an incarnation of Yehudah. Oved was an incarnation of Machlon. And in all of them, the tree came out from the evil side and later clung to the good side. In the beginning, it writes, and Er, Yehudah's firstborn, was evil. Machlon, too, was evil, but not as much. However, in them, the evil was uprooted and the good came out afterwards. Here the bottom tree, Malchut, stood corrected, and God was king over the nations. 181. In the beginning of everything, the degrees were rooted from the upper core and foundation. Reuven, Shimon, Levi, and Yehudah are Chagat and Malchut. It is written about it, "This time I will thank the Lord." And it is written, "Then she stopped bearing." It is, as it is written, "Shout for joy, O barren one, who have borne no child." Since when Yehudah was born, the Nukva, Malchut, came out attached to the male, Zeranpin. However, they were not as they should be, face to face, and Malchut was unfit to bear. When the Creator cut her off, separating her from the male's posterior and establishing her, she became fit for impregnation and bearing. 182. Then she stopped bearing. It is not written about Leah, Nukva de Zeranpin, above the Chazeh, but about Rachel, who is weeping over her sons. She was rooted in Yehudah, Nukva below the Chazeh, the letters Yud K Vav, Dalet K, and she stopped bearing, because she was still not corrected. 183. In the beginning, the form above was everything. Even Rachel rose and was above the Chazeh. Reuven is the letters O, Ben, light, sun, respectively. This is the meaning of what is written, and God said, "Let there be light," which is right, Chesed Zeranpin. Shimon is left, light with a waist of gold, since Shimon has the letters of Shem, name, Avon, iniquity, left, Gvura de Zeranpin. Levi is the joining of the two sides, the middle line, Tiferet de Zeranpin. After Chagat de Zeranpin above the Chazeh came out, the Nukva, Rachel, came out, and Yehudah, the Nukva, clung to the male, Chagat de Zeranpin. Yud K Vav is male, Chagat, Dalet K is the Nukva, Rachel, who was with the male.
Does anyone want to ask a question? Please. Not necessarily even according to what we're reading now. Yes.
There's a lot of people, a lot of friends in the World Kli that want to come to the Congress, and they still have problems, difficulties, family, work. Is there some way through reading the Zsolt that we can help the friends?
We can be thinking about this, yes. Of course. Try it. Try to think. Try to be connected to them, to everyone. Not anyone in specific. And if about someone in specific, then also as part of others who also share this problem, and so on. Yes, this is good. If we think of them. More?
No. Take
the microphone. What's with you?
of how to ask something that I don't understand, that I don't feel, that I don't recognize.
Just a minute. What don't you understand? What you don't want?
Something I don't have a true desire. Well, how do I request?
Simply that I want to have a true desire. The wisdom of Kabbalah says that we need to ask for the vessels of bestowal, for reception, for giving, for love, for connection, for everyone to be equal, for everyone to be connected, so that we'll have such a connection between us that we'll be right next to each other, so tight that there's no distance between us. And if we position ourselves together like that, tight, it will be one kli, and then the upper light can be poured into it, and it won't flow out, right? Like a complete whole vessel. That's how we need to connect. So each one has a place, each one is part of that vessel, and we need to make an effort to connect that way. And then the upper light is present. If we connect ourselves like that, in a close-fitting fashion, it will be revealed.
I'm trying to go more towards...
It's difficult.
No, not exactly difficult, but I see that I don't really want. There's no true desire.
Good.
I'm praying, I'm asking.
Yes, I understand you.
But I see that I'm asking for something that I don't have a true desire for.
Did you hear that there's none else besides him? Good, you have. So what does it mean? Where do your desires come from?
From the Creator.
From the Creator. Great, you know that. Okay. And from where do your thoughts come?
I heard that it's all from the Creator.
It's all from the Creator. Okay. So if you get angry that you don't have something, you don't have the right desire, the correct thoughts, that you don't want, that you're not advancing, where does this all come from?
Also from the Creator.
From the Creator. And why does He invoke this, elicit this in you?
To work more in the group?
Right. And what can you do about it? So first of all, if it comes from Him, what do you answer Him? He already did His work. He brought to you a desire, a thought, something. Even the fact that you don't want, that you don't feel like it, that you disregard it, that you want to leave, it all, He brings it to you. And you are now hearing or remembering that it comes from the Creator. So what's next?
I ask, I request.
You ask, you request. If you do you request it of Him?
I'm asking for the 10.
No, but from Him. You're asking for it from Him, from the Creator. And why for the 10?
There's no relation with the Creator alone. You need to reveal the Creator within the 10.
Good, you heard that if you connect to the Creator individually, alone, it doesn't even come up to Him. Meaning that connection can only be through this instrument called the 10, right? So you try to connect with the 10 and then to call the Creator. All right? So you have everything. Look, He arranged for you the desire to come to the 10. He set you up with a 10. And within that 10 where you are, He awakens you to address Him, to ask for the 10, so that according to your request, if He connects you with the 10 and begins to influence you, then you're set up. You have the means to connect to Him. You have a connection with the Creator. He elicits this in you. You respond back to Him, and that's it. We're done.
But it doesn't matter if the Creator show me that what I'm asking for is a lie. It doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter. Because you're still a baby. Like a child. I want. You have children. I saw them. Cute.
Yes.
2 children. Probably also nag you a lot. So, and they ask you, it's just, it's not a real desire that they have, but they still get what they want. And we need to learn from that. That even though it's not a true desire, the Creator is eliciting this desire. He arranges everything for you, and you need to, without any criticism over that desire specifically, just activate it, direct it towards Him, through the 10, or straight to Him, and for the benefit of the 10. But in all these ways, but just never to let go.
It doesn't matter what I feel, whatever I think.
The important thing is that you have some connection with Him. When this connection disappears, that is the greatest punishment. It's the biggest problem. Anything but to let go. Everything but to exit, as we say. Yes.
Hello friends, hello Rav. It seems to me that the friends have a lot of desires and they're making a lot of efforts.
Speak clearly.
Why is whatever the Creator says needs to be proved?
We as created beings need to be... we have to consist of... yes. We as created beings have to be comprised of 2 contrary properties or qualities, plus and minus, the will to receive and the will to bestow. And only in that way, if we're connected, if we're attached, if we're integrated, if we have these 2 contrary forces, we exist. The Creator is one force, the power of bestowal. We are the force of reception, but in order to connect to Him, to rise from our degree, we need to have the intention in order to bestow above the will to receive. And therefore we have to be in these 2 contrary forces, opposing forces, and from that comes all of our confusion. All right? Clear?
I'm asking the question because like Terence for many years has been on the path and making a lot of efforts, or Lawrence, and they're always wondering with themselves whether this is their work.
It's not it's a thing of wonderment for me, because I'm also that way. And if you read the books of the Kabbalists, you will see that throughout the entire spiritual ladder, through to the end of correction, you'll always have some problems, confusions. You'll feel helpless. You'll have questions whether something is right or not, because every degree that opens is a new world, a new desire which is corrupted, and it's a greater degree, so it's a greater corruption that is revealed. And every time you are as a new person, there's no problem. I see that after 10 years he's asking the same questions. For me, they're not the same questions, they're new questions. New, different. And I'm telling you that it's right, it's legitimate, and that's how it will be with each and every one. But when he asks these questions more and more, he can't feel how he's in constant renewal of state. He's always advancing. Everything is built over this question, answer, and so on. Yes, who else? Well, let's read a bit more. Meanwhile, think about it. You can ask whatever you want, please. Yes. Item 184. Why is the nukva implied in the letters Daled Hey? Daled is considered the nukva during the attachment of the evil with her, when he is only in the left, attached to the posterior of the male, or rather she. Dalet means that she is poor and must return in an incarnation, the incarnation from Yehuda through King David, to uproot the evil and to decay in the dust, and later grow on the good side, through the reconstruction of Abba Ve'ima anew, as it is written, and the Lord God fashioned the rib, and to go from poverty to richness. Then she is considered the letter Hey. This is why Yehuda is the letters Yud Hey Vav Daled Hey, the letters comprising the name Yehuda. Yud Hey Vav are Chagat of the male, and Daled Hey are the Nukva in her two states, who conjoins with the male. 186. You are Yehuda. Your brothers shall thank you. Your hand shall be on the neck of your enemies. When we say, blessed are you, he is blessed when Yesod the Zerampin gives chasadim to Malchut. He is called blessed, and Malchut is called you. It is so because the name you implies chasadim. Yaakov did not say you to all the sons, but to the place where it was needed. It is so because the Malchut extends from the left side, where Chokhmah shines without Chasadim. It needs a name, you, Chasadim, to clothe Chokhmah in it, since without Chasadim, Chokhmah does not shine, and she is in the dark. This is why he said to Yehuda, you. 187. Your brothers shall thank you, meaning everyone will certainly thank you for that name. Your brothers shall thank you for this name. The other side departed and surrendered. This is so because when the name Yehuda is mentioned, the Sitra Acha comes out with her in the Dalet of Yehuda, implying her first state, extending only from the left, where the Sitra Acha nurses, due to the lack of Chasadim on the right. When you is being said, meaning the extension of Chasadim from the right, she has governance and greatness, and the Sitra Acha surrenders and is not seen there. Certainly, with that name, it is inscribed and becomes sorted out from the Sitra Acha, because when she clothes in Chasadim, the Sitra Acha departs from her. This is the ascension and the governance of Malchut, and the shattering and evil to the other side. Since your brothers will thank you for the name you, your hand will be on the neck of your enemies, meaning Sitra Acha will promptly yield before you, and this name is the cause. 188. The name you is said to a different high place, as it is written, you are a priest forever, which is the upright in Chokhmah. 189. For you are a priest. Here, a cup of blessing is tied. Malchut, who is called you, to the right, Chesed, who is called priest, without any separation. For this reason, you are a priest forever. For here the cup, Malchut, is thoroughly bound. This is why it exists forever. The day of the snow is the time when Malchut clings only to the left line, when she is filled with dinim, which are called ice and snow. This continues until the middle line, the Ampin, comes and raises the Masach de Malchut to Binah, which is called sowing the beans. At that time, the Chasadim appear, and the illumination of Chokhmah on the left, in the construction of the Malchut, dresses in those Chasadim. This is you. And then, the dinim of the snow depart, and the Chokhmah illuminates in utter completeness. This is the implication of the text, you are a priest forever. Since once you, Malchut, are tied in Chasadim, the priest, by sowing the beans of the middle line, it exists forever. 190. It is written about it, you are Yehuda. It is this you that your brother will thank you. It does not write, Yehuda, your brothers shall thank you. Rather, it is for the name, you, that his brothers will thank. You, Malchut's place, needs that name since she is in dinim, in snow and ice from the left side, and not another, meaning that she does not need another degree, for only the Malchut extends from the left and is built entirely from it, and none other. 191. Yehuda is the first father of Er and Onan, and the second father of Peretz and Zerach, who are the incarnations of Er and Onan. And there was never any exchange in him, meaning that the degree did not change to where the brother became the father, where the dead without sons incarnates in the son that is born to the marrying brother, making his brother his father. This is a descent of degree and a flaw. In Yehuda, however, there was no interchanging and decline of degree, since he was also the first father of Er and Onan, incarnated in Peretz and Zerach. For this reason, Peretz prevailed in his might, as it is written, "What a breach you have made for yourself," since there was no decline of degree in him. This was not so with all the people in the world who reincarnate. They do not have a decline, where the brother becomes his father. Hence, David's construction begins the count from Peretz and not from Boaz, in whom there was a change, since he was not the first father of the incarnated one, who is Machlon. 192. This is why Yehuda merited that name, you. It was first sorted and clarified in Er and Onan, and the second time in Peretz and Zerach, and it never changed. Yehuda's sons and descendants think and say, "For you are our father," since no decline occurred to them, with the brother becoming a father. This is not so with the rest of the incarnated ones in the world. The rest of the incarnated ones have two fathers and two mothers, a wheel for his structure, since in addition to his first father, his brother also became his father. Thus he has two fathers, and there are also two mothers, for in addition to his first mother, his wife has become his mother.
We are here listening to many different connections to faces and partsufim, and they all come together in a revelation to souls, and there's of course there's no remembrance to certain people, or it's not remembered. In none of these words are we remembering a living person, or things that we're living, or things that we know for ourselves. This reality here is like a dream. Zohar is talking about partsufim, spiritual partsufim that are souls. There's nothing more than it. There's the desire to receive, and there's some amount of bestowal, and that's what's called soul. So they're tying together these desires, and they unite, and that's what's being talked about. Each according to their degree, and they change places, and it changes their luck, and by the change of the name, it changes the desires, and according to that, states that they're in, they're given these names and these actions. Yes.
193. It seems that there was a change in Boaz when he begot Oved, because Oved is changed, as he is his second father. However, it is not so. Ivtzan is Boaz. He is called Boaz because he is the first father who made no change, in whom Yehuda, the first father, incarnated. Can it be that he was and is not an incarnation of Yehuda? However, it is certain that when he awoke to the deed of marrying the brother's widow, there was someone in him who was as fierce as a lion and as a young lion, Yehuda. This is why he was called Boaz, from the words Bo and Az, who is in him, one who is fierce, who is Yehuda. This was so that there would be no change in David, and because Yehuda incarnated in him, the matter returned to the first root, so that all would be from the single father and a single dynasty. Thus, all is one, and there was no change in the incarnation of David's seed. This is why you is without any change from beginning to end.
We're all thinking about that each word is working in us and bringing us closer to unity and being incorporated in a way that we will be able to reveal the Creator. We are waiting, we're anticipating the revelation of the Creator through the ties between us, the connection between us.
194. Happy is David, who was sorted so and rose above the rest of the roots of people on earth. 195. It should have been said, all the people in the world will thank you. Why does it say, your brothers? Indeed, usually, people do not marry the brother's widow to incarnate the dead without sons, but only on the brother's side, and the brother arrives for the marriage of the widow. Yet, you yourself came for the marrying of the brother's widow, and here all your brothers shall thank you, that the dynasty of kingship did not hang down from them, or from one of them, but you alone. You means you have worked from beginning to end, and from you did the whole dynasty and the race of the lion come out. 196. Your sons are the sons of a lion. They were not passed into change over your brothers, nor were they exchanged with a lamb or an ox or a kid. It is so because there are 12 forms in the 12 fortunes, opposite the 12 tribes. And the sons of Yehuda were all from the form, or all in the form of a lion. However, a lion began to build, and a lion completed the construction. Your whole dynasty are sons of lions. For if it came to be incarnation in your sons from your brother's side, all the forms would interchange and mingle in one another. For this reason your brothers shall thank you, since there was not one of them incarnated in your son's dynasty. Raise your hand, for there was no mingling of one of them within you. 197. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. He crouches, he lies down as a lion, and as a young lion. Who will rouse him up? From the prey, my son, you have gone up, means that there was no prey and food for another on your table. Crouches in Er's bed, lies down in Onan's bed, then prevailed as a lion to raise up Peretz, and as a young lion to raise up Zerach. Who will rouse him? As it is written, and he knew her again no more, meaning did not stop. This is the meaning of who will rouse him. Who is the one who said that this woman was forbidden? Who is the one who will say that since she completed her ways, she no longer needs you? That since this brother's widow completed her ways, she no longer needs you, and it is best to retire from her. But who will rouse him? Indeed, henceforth she is his, because the one who rumbles her guts is the one who takes her out. The spirit of her first husband, which he had left in her in the first marriage, is rumbling in her guts, and now she took him out. 198. Why does a brother's man marry his widow? Also, why did Yehuda, who is his father, marry his wife? Why not another man who was not a relative? Rather, the one who rumbles in the guts of the widow, the spirit that her dead husband had left in her, sees that the one who keeps him, the one who is close to him, slanders him from all sides. If it were a stranger, he would repel him. But he did not wish to repel his relative, so he wished to get out of there. When he comes out, he summons that other spirit, the dead man's main one, and both come to enter the guts of the woman as before, until he is built as before, incarnating in the drop of semen of the marrying brother. This was by the force of the strong slandering that he slandered his brother with. This is why he decided to exit her, and henceforth that woman was permitted to him, since the slandering spirit has already departed her. This is why the relative must marry her, for the spirit would reject a stranger who is not a relative. 199. Happy is Yehuda. First, he was a whelp, then a lion, who grew and expanded in his power like a lion. And he ended as a young lion. The rest of the people are not so, and this is why Yehuda is you.
Let's move on. Let's skip a few passages. We go to item 361.
So it's the same book, item 371, If Men Struggle. If men struggle with each other and strike a pregnant woman, and her children come out, yet there is no calamity, he shall surely be punished as the woman's husband made demand of him. If men struggle with each other are Michael and Sam, Michael from the side of holiness and Sam from the side of impurity, and they strike a pregnant woman, is the assembly of Israel, Malchut, and her children come out to exile. He shall surely be punished, refers to Sam, as the woman's husband made demand of him, refers to the Creator.
Returning a loss. 372. The subsequent mitzvah, commandment, is to return a loss, and following that, return the stolen. Rabbi Shimon said to Moses, the Creator will return the loss that you lost due to the mixed multitude, and it is to your bride, Malchut, since Moses is the queen's husband. It is so because when the mixed multitude made the calf, your bride has fallen. As it is written, and he cast the tables from his hands, implying to Malchut. 373. It is written about you, go, come down, implying to your descent in the fourth exile. Go is like go forth from your country into exile. There is a shin in the name Moses, in which there are 3 lines. Here, in the 3 lines of the shin, it implies to you go 3 times in the exile, and in the 4th exile, come down, for your only daughter, Malchut, your bride, who has fallen. It is written about the 4th exile, she has fallen, she will rise no more, and as soon as you will come down for her, she will rise with you. This is because she will rise no more by herself, but through her husband, Moses. This is the returning of your loss. 374. There is a reason why the Torah was revealed to you more than to the whole of Israel, and why she rose to you as the waters of the well that rose to you, and not to the patriarchs or to any man at all. It is because the well, Malchut, knows her master. And it is written about this law, from there is her well, the well where the Lord said to Moses, assemble the people, that I may give them water. The well is full, that her waters do not flow out. It is a well of the water of the Torah. For the Torah is called water, which elicited all the water, the whole Torah, and all the water in the world enter her, and her waters do not come out, but are rather gathered within her. 375. It is a well from which even if all the people of the world drew water, and even all the clouds in the world, they will not cause it to lack even as a hair's breadth, as this well is endless, deeper than the Torah, As it is written, wider than the sea. One who draws water with the jar, the 24 holy books, swallows all the wisdoms in the world, and especially the well itself. 376. The Creator is destined to return to you what has been stolen from you. The rod, of which it is written, He snatched the spear from the Egyptian's hand. It writes Egyptian about you, in your exile, and in your incarnation, for in each generation there is expansion of Moses, who will set aside cities of refugee to save you from your several pursuers who never end. Setting aside cities of refuge.
Does anyone have a question? Yes.
Мы знаем, что Зор очень обладает большой силой.
Zohar holds power.
В книге Зор ребята, ваши ученики, собрали ваши рекомендации, где-то около 5. И, значит, если коротко, они такие. Это молитва.
התלמידים שלך אספו 5 מונחים שמתייחסים לזוהר.
Gathered 5 phrases, terms that relate to the Zohar, and are putting together a demand for the reforming light, a yearning to feel these feelings between us.
Какой-то особенный подход к Зор.
And for every friend, they have their own style to the Zohar, own approach.
Это что товарищи при изучении Зор должны стремиться находиться в любви к товарищам.
ויש כלל חמישי שהחברים צריכים להיות בהשתוקקות בזמן קריאת
There's a
הזוהר.
need for the friends to be in yearning for the love of friends during the reading.
Каждого индивидуально или как-то можно объединить эти подходы все вместе.
השאלה היא האם זה אינדיבידואלי או
Question,
שאפשר
is it individualistic, or do we need to combine these yearnings?
Как ведет тебя Творец.
או פשוט לנהוג לפי איך שמתנהג הבורא.
Or to behave according to the Creator?
A person goes through all these states, and they're always revealed to him in different ways. At times, he wants to connect with the friends, at times to attain the Creator, or to attain this whole system that we study about, and more of such like. And so, it's not so good to consolidate these things in these simple terms. It's better to just simply flow with the states that we flow with. However, I must constantly try to be connected to the source, to the Creator, so that what I understand, what I feel, whatever happens to me, the way in which it happens, regardless, everything that's within me, He sets up, and I need to see myself as an empty vessel, a computer with no electricity, no software, nothing. And then electricity comes, the computer turns on, the program, the software starts running, and it begins to do something. And that is how I am with the Creator within me. We need to be aware, cognizant to an extent of the fact that He is always operating us, meaning I am never the first, He is the first. I am always a response, an outcome, a result of Him. And if we want to be connected to the Creator, well, we want to be connected to the Creator in that way, and in that way to listen to the Zohar. All right? Yes.
Say that our world is a dream. And Zohar is telling us about the real world.
Yes.
But it feels to me completely opposite.
That you're real and the Zohar is imaginary.
Yeah, that Zol is like a dream. And in order to leave the true world, you have to die in this world.
To die means that the will to receive dies. And in its stead comes the will to bestow. So the extent to which our will to receive takes on the intention to bestow, it means that it's reincarnated. And when we feel in it the desire to bestow, that means we feel the upper world, and the source of it is the Creator. As I feel my life now, I will discover that the source of my life is the Creator. That's what I'll discover in the spiritual world, that I have the intention to bestow and the vessel with which to bestow, and the Creator. The Creator is the source. This is why it is said, "I am the first and I am the last." Think of this. By that, we bring closer the lights that correct us and bring us a new perception of reality. Right? Yes, Amnon.
Rav says that many times you say that you need to maybe listen to the Zohar in a language they don't understand.
No. That's sometimes worthwhile. I don't understand its language even now. I don't understand what they wrote. But I'm saying that in the Zohar, especially, we're in a state where language doesn't matter to us so much. We don't understand a single word of what's written here. It's not written in such a way as to understand it with our intellect, and it almost doesn't affect our emotion, but only as a skula, a special power, remedy. Like when you take some pill, you don't know what it does. You don't take it because it tastes good, but because it's medicine. And the same here. That's how we need to relate to it. The more a person feels, or the less a person feels and understands during the reading of the Zohar, that gives him the opportunity to connect himself more to the Zohar as a sgula. Yes.
When you read the Zohar, and I hear it as music, can my mind go to other places?
You run wherever you want, but I recommend to always be in the intention that this helps me become the bestower through others to the Creator, to reach or to attain the purpose of life. Other than that, keep running. Yes.
A student from Estonia is asking, why does the Creator put in front of me obstacles that will not allow me to come to the Congress? Is it because I'm not worthy of the connection?
There's no such a thing as a person who is unworthy of connection, because we all need to come to connection. Each and every one. And there is no one who is unworthy. But we must see these things as each one needs to do the utmost, the maximum he can wherever he is. It's like circles and circles and concentric circles, and there's a point in the middle. So I need to see in which circle, which is closer to the center, I can be. But wherever I am, there I need to be. And it may be that he can't get out of work, and he has to work during these days somewhere. But in tandem, he can at least be connected to us through the internet sometimes, or together, or even not in real time, but to watch the recording afterwards. It all depends on the chisaron, on the lack. It can be that he lacks a strong lack, so that the Creator has to just drive him out in order to elicit this lack in him. And this is worthwhile, this is good. Even ask doctors, physiologists, if you eat without an appetite, the food doesn't get digested properly. It all depends on the lack, on the yearning. So perhaps he didn't have enough of a yearning, and they want to awaken him, so they give him these states. But he should be careful to make sure that he does as much as possible wherever he can be, to be as connected to us as he can be. All right? So let's conclude the lesson with this and continue tomorrow morning. And Niv, sing a song.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד.